Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the show today. This is comic book news for the 12th of July, 2021. Things are certainly rolling along here very quickly. We're beyond halfway, Eric. Beyond halfway.
It's Christmas in July.
Christmas in July. And of course, you guys know we're also joined with the hostess, the co-hostess with the mostesses, Booster. Hi.
No one's ever accused me of that. Hey, how you doing, man?
Well,
How we
I,
feeling?
I'll, I'll try not to. I'll try to reserve the compliments in the future.
That's
Um,
good. You know that make me paranoid.
That's true. That is
I'm
very,
like,
very true.
What's he gonna do? He's gonna hit me? What's happening?"
Today we're going to be talking about comic books, and of course,
Oh yes.
I actually try to
Well, in
keep
comics
today.
news today, no less.
Well, that's true, and I've tried to keep
Goodness
things very
me.
light today, so I don't think we'll have such a lot of ranting. A little bit more light and fun today. Do keep in mind, though, to this week, guys, that on Thursday, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have Drawn a Quarter Ultimate Edition here on this channel, of course, and I call this one in particularly because we're doing Scooby Doo, baby.
Oh yeah, I love it.
Yeah,
I'm so I'm actually really excited.
so
It's
me too.
something I can draw.
Something you can draw. That's right. We haven't seen that drawing for you in quite a while. But definitely come and check that out, man. That's going to be fun. I don't know why we didn't do Scooby Doo sooner. We should do more of the Saturday morning cartoon stuff, dude.
I would love to. You
Oh,
kidding
we
me?
should.
Wacky races, some Dynamite.
Yeah.
Why don't we just do Hanna Barbera as just the whole thing?
Well, we could do Steven Universe Trans Day.
No, let's.
Mhm.
Okay, let's dial it back a bit.
Dial it back a bit. Okay,
Yeah,
all right, all right. But
yeah.
I'm actually very excited too about doing Scooby Doo. So come and join us for that. But also notice that we have ourselves a Thundero in the house. Hello, sir.
Hello. I was doing my elliptical
Taxes?
there, so
No.
oh no, I'm a little winded. Literally just jumped off of it and sat down.
Oh, well, that's good. Um, I did my morning trot up the mountain, which I do every day. I don't know if it serves any purpose, but I do it anyway. You know. Uh,
It's
but
better
uh,
than not doing it.
it's just 30 minutes of movement in the morning, kind of wakes you up and get you ready to go.
Oh
That's
yeah.
about it for me. When the problem is, as you get older, it becomes harder and harder not to have a kind of a fat line around your stomach. I don't know what it is, but because I was never skinny, I was always kind of a,
Your
a
uh
husky boy.
your testosterone goes down, so your estrogen production goes up, and you retain more weight, like
Well,
women.
well, thanks, dude. Thank you. That's wonderful.
I'm just
Love
explaining
it.
it to you. That's
Love in
what
the
it
house
is.
today. You're a bitch, Chester. That's why.
Yeah, yeah.
Stop being a
Basically, yeah.
bitch. All right,
You're
fine.
slowly becoming a woman. That's what's happening.
Yeah, well, the thing is, the good thing about that is we get prettier as we get older. Yeah, baby.
That's true. That's
Yeah.
true. Until a certain age, and then we become some sort of goblin creature.
Well, everybody does. Everybody
Yeah.
does. Yeah, that's true. But anyway, we are going to be getting into the news here real quick. Before I do so, does anybody have anything they want to announce or anything they'd like to talk about first off here?
Um, we actually had a very recent diff in DC. Do you have that on hand?
No, I do not.
Sadly,
Well,
Jim
explain,
Lee just
please.
recently announced that I'm starting to pull it up.
Well, while he's pulling that up, Paul Orndorff died as well.
Yes, he
Really?
did.
Oh, Lord.
Mr. Wonderful. He's not so wonderful now, is he?
Wow. Yeah, but he's had a long life though, dude.
Oh yeah, he looked real rough near the end there.
Yeah.
But it happens. It's undefeated. Old time, not beating it.
It gets us all.
That's true. That is true. That is true. Booster, who is it?
I'm going to butcher this man's name, so I do apologize. A Robson Rocha, a Brazilian artist that worked at DC for 11 years.
Oh wow,
I've
long
just
time.
put the Twitter in the general chat. Yeah.
Okay. And if you guys aren't part of our Discord yet, please do come over and join. Maybe one of you moderators can drop the Discord link in here, please. Definitely come over there, be part of it. There's a lot of conversations that go on in there. There's a lot of information that gets dropped in there. So, please be part of the group. And also, it allows you to come in here and join in us as you like as well. And of course, we've said this since we've started. You're always welcome. This show is not about fame. It's not about making money. It's not about any of that. It's about having conversations. And you're welcome to be part of it. I know some of you guys are shy, and that's all. That's fine. But if you can find to get up the courage, we'd love for you to have come in and at least jump in once with us and have a chat. I mean, right?
How chatty was I at first, Chester?
Not much, but we pulled it out of you.
I had crippling anxiety
You did,
before I started the show.
but you're better now.
That's not a joke I'm making. I had crippling anxiety issues.
No,
But
you
I'm
did.
here now.
Denali was another one that had a lot of troubles too, and we were able to draw that out of him too. I haven't seen him in quite a while, but at least at the last time's conversation with him, he was doing so much better.
It's good for the shyness to come onto this.
I think so. I think so. Because it's a friendly place. We're happy to have you. Even if you are of the Semitic persuasion.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Oh, jeez.
Yes, even then. But anyway, of course, everyone is welcome. Just joking. Let me see here. Give me a. Let me just check real quick. Booster, say something wacky. Oh, good.
Hey, I sure do like tittles in my fiddle. Haha.
Well, I don't know what that means, but thank you.
That
The
was
mic check
that,
is
that was
working.
wacky though, wasn't it? It was certainly wacky.
Cult film video. Also wondering what happened to Denali. So am I. So am I. Yeah. So do I.
He
But
got
I
the egg.
offended him somehow. I'm sure.
He went away at the dodo.
Yeah.
He got
I don't know
HIV.
exactly.
He's bursting with it.
Yeah, I do know
Sorry to-
that he was a bit upset with me that I wasn't trying to make this into $1 million business, though. He wasn't happy about that. So maybe that's what
You're
it is.
nuts. That's the
I
only
would-
reason I'm here.
I would definitely have been kicked off of here by now if you were trying that.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's all good though. I mean, if people want to come and join us, they're welcome. If they don't, that's fine too. Alrighty. So let me come back over here.
Yeah, look at the people we let on Drawn and Quarter. Gee, okay.
That's true.
Yeah,
That is true.
it's hell.
That is true.
Deviants.
Maniacs.
Straight deviants.
Absolute deviants. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the news today, and we're going to be starting out with the mangas. So I'm glad I got Booster here because he's our local weeb, so we got him to help us out.
Oh, what do we have here? Oh, I don't know what any of these are because I'm not a weeb. That's a lie that people tell about me.
No, he's a big old
This-
weeb.
He
He knows more about anime than me.
He does. Yeah.
That's because you have to understand the enemy. This
Yeah.
media reveals everything being released in September. What is
All
this?
right.
What is this referring to? What is this on about?
Well, no, it's talking about some of the manga that's coming out, and it's an interesting thing because everybody here, we have seen the evolution of manga in the States, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I
Yeah, it's
can't
really
attest
annoying.
to manga sales in other countries because I don't really know. I know here it's a absolutely multi-billion-dollar industry in Japan for sure. You'll have here in Japan a single manga will outsell the entire freaking comic book industry in America. That's not
Yeah.
even. I'm not exaggerating. That's
Fucking
actually true.
embarrassing is what it is.
It is embarrassing. But of course, I'm well ensconced in the manga, I guess, because my kids grew up with it. My kids loved it. I did manage to squeeze in some American comics in there as well along the way, but my kids are manga fans. My daughter, particularly, is a huge manga fan. Matter of fact, one of the things I did with her, Booster, when she was younger, is I would drive quite long distances sometimes for her to stand in line and get an autograph from her favorite manga artist or favorite anime voice actor or things like that. It's definitely something I know about. I'm not a huge fan of the art. You guys know this. But I don't have anything against manga. Matter of fact, I think manga is one of the things manga does, and Chuck Dixon had a chat on it here a week or so ago, and he was basically saying the reason manga is doing so well is because it's interesting, right? And American stuff is not interesting. It's very simple. That's what it all boiled down to. What he was saying, and he expressed that his favorite manga that he reads is about fishing, and there's the hook, right? You have manga literally about anything. I mean, you name it, they have it. I have actually seen a manga about tuners tuning their sportsy rice rockets,
But
and that's it.
why
There's
would
no
you read
well, I wouldn't, but a lot of people do. There's no
why?
yakuza involved. There's no drama. It's just simply a tuning manga. There's ones about the life of a nurse in a dental office. That's quite a
An
popular one,
entire
actually.
country of autists, I tell you.
Oh well, yeah, that's fair. But I'm just saying that
Country of autists.
manga offers something for everyone. Literally has diversity, and this is something we've seen here over the past so many years. We hear a lot of screams for diversity and equality and all that, and most of us are like, yeah, okay, fine, yeah, okay, good, good, good. Not much pushback on that because why would you? The problem is we're getting further and further away from diversity every day, right? Because clearly there's a huge chunk of people that they just don't want in. So this isn't about diversity whatsoever, whereas manga is. So let's take a look at some of the things that are coming out here up in September. Of course, they usually do things like this. So September's our next release, I guess. Comic books kind of do the same thing, and you can find the September releases right now. However, let's take a look here. So we got Shonen Jump. This is coming out of Shonen Jump. Now, Shonen Jump is weekly, I do believe, and it's a gigantic telephone book. Oh, wow, Eric, do they even know what a telephone book is?
Yes, I know what a telephone book is.
Plus, they were hit with one when they were a child.
Oh, yeah, because they don't exist anymore, do they?
Haven't seen one in many years.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, it's a very thick book with kind of cheap paper, cheap ass paper on it, and that's what Shonen Jump prints on. Cheap ass paper, no color. It's giant. It's literally telephone book thickness. Comes out every week. It's freaking amazing that it does that. And what'll happen is if something picks up popularity within this bulk book that has many stories in it, it will get put into a much smaller format, which is about, I don't know, 10 inches tall, maybe 8 inches tall, and about 5 inches wide. It's a very small format. And sometimes they even get colorized if they're really popular. So that's kind of what people are trying to do. That you'll see a lot of new artists and stuff come out in some of these big giant, multi-story books, and hoping to get some popularity and get their own. Get it split off into their own run. So that's what we're looking at here. This isn't coming out of Shonen Jump itself. This is like something that was successful and is getting printed in its own format. So here we go. We get Mashal, Magic and Muscle Volume 2. I don't know. That's a weird name. But then again, if you live in
that name so much.
it's bad. But if you live in Japan, Booster, you understand the Japanese have no concept of what things mean
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
So,
Muscle.
This
yeah,
design kind of looks like a magic card.
Oh, it
it
sounds like an
kinda
English
does.
dinner. Ugh.
It does, doesn't it? That's true. But this is clearly Harry Potter ripoff, and that's fine. They're certainly popular. Harry Potter is very popular here, so it's smart to do that. This must be our hero because he has white hair. In Asia, white hair represents someone who is special. So
Special.
whenever you
Ooh.
see the white hair character, you know that they're being
You're
singled
very
out.
special over there.
I am, dude. I am. I get little old ladies shuffling over and touching my belly, and they touch me a lot, which is weird because they never touch each other. I don't get it, Booster. What's up with all the
Japanese
touching?
women should touch each other all the time.
Because
Ugh.
you're basically a freak. Is what they're doing.
I
They're like,
guess.
oh, look at this freak show. I want to
Oh,
touch it.
gorilla.
Thanks,
I want to
Thundero.
touch it.
I want to touch you. Let me touch.
I love the ladies, especially the 30-somethings that come up to me and they're all smiley and they're trying to start a conversation and they're so awkward. They're trying to be flirtatious, you see, and they failing miserably at it.
Oh,
Aw.
Gaijin.
Oh, it's so bad.
Big
But anyway,
Gaijin.
this has been dropped into its old format, so this must be popular. That's the thing to understand about this list. These things are already selling really well. So, all right, we got this one coming up. Nice. It says, in the midst of a battle with Lance, a chosen magic user graced with 2 marks, Mash makes a shocking discovery about his opponents. Then, more trouble is on the way when Mash's Dorm Adler is paired for outdoor activities with Lang. No, a dorm full of a veritable wolf pack of bad characters. Now Mash is caught in a fight for coins and the pride of his dorm. Something that's kind of interesting I've noticed. Why is Japan doing D&D better than America? And they are. There are several really good D&D type of stories going on. One of them being Goblin Slayer.
Because
Very D&D.
America's full of pufters, alright?
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
True.
But that sounds super D&D, doesn't it? All right, let's move down here. Of course, Boruto. No, Naruto was a huge, mega international success. This is one of the ones that truly went international. This is his son, and in this story, Naruto is kind of the boss. But I thought Naruto was okay. Any of you guys ever read or watch Naruto?
I liked the first 20 episodes of Naruto. It
Okay.
got real boring for me real quick. Especially when I hate exams and shit. I don't get why the Japanese are so obsessed with exams in high school
Wow,
and all
have
that.
you ever
It's
been
so
here?
boring to me.
You realize
Um,
these people study 4 or 5 hours a day.
I understand that. Yeah, I get that. I don't like it. I don't want to watch about that.
Well,
I don't.
Sure, they
when I
study
was told it was a ninja show. I didn't think it would be ninjas taking exams. It's boring to me. It's so mind-bogglingly boring to me.
okay.
Sure, they
one-on-one
study
fight.
before sex.
They do.
Oh my lord.
That's true. They study for sex. Yeah. hmm Maybe
Me
that's the
too.
problem. Me too. Who did it? Booster, who'd you touch?
I touched everything. Everyone.
Okay, fair enough.
None of you are safe from
Booster
me.
has no standards. Are you crazy?
I'm disgusting.
My son enjoyed Naruto quite a bit. I think my daughter was into it a little bit too, but he liked Naruto. I kind of generally know the story. I didn't really pay that much attention.
What's the hell
I-
comics saying in chat here? Do you want me to read that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. 私があなたのことを考えるとき、私は自分自身に振まし。
Oh wow.
I sound like a Star Wars alien by the end of that.
私があなたのことを考えるとき、
私が。
私は人文自身に触れます。
Oh, Penteo.
Yeah. Penteo. Hey.
Why do they
Dexter.
put Chester? Why do they put U's on the end of so many words that they don't belong?
I realized it was Spanish halfway through, but just went with it.
Oh, yeah, fair enough. That's good enough. Because Japanese is built upon the a, I, U, E, O, and everything beyond that it has that attachment. So a, I, U, E, O, kaki, kuke, ko, mami, mume, mo, hahi, huhi, ho, ido, ido, ido. That's Japanese. And this is one of the reasons why they have so much trouble with English, because they constantly want to drop the vowel on the end of every sound, which in English, of course, we don't do that. We usually usually we end with a consonant, right? Particularly when we're talking about syllables and things like that. But it's just the language, the way it works. And in this case, with watashi ga anata no, so this means I, you, yours, etc., etc. So the way they structure their grammar is quite different than ours as well. But anyway, so if you're into Boruto, here you go. And I know it's
Doing
very
well?
popular. What?
Yeah. Is that still doing well?
It seems to be doing really well here. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
just find it funny because a very common criticism of American comics is that they don't end, right? But that's But there are some anime, manga, or whatever have you that seem to not ever end as well. That just keep going on and on and on. So
Yeah, but
I don't
this,
know.
but I think the argument comes down more to this. Um, if
Mm.
you take a storyline and then you continue it as long as it's popular, and then you put a new artist, a new writer, a new thing on it, that doesn't make sense to them. As long as the artist is alive and they're making it and making money, this is okay.
I see.
That's how they look at it.
Yeah.
Looks like Naruto has been wounded and Baruto's got to save the day. Sweet. Okay. Let's see. Twin Star Exorcist. Okay, it's one of these
It's very homoerotic.
watercolory ones. Well, they have that too. They
Mhm.
have lesbian stuff, homosexual stuff. They literally are truly diverse. You know, it is what it is.
There you
Go
go.
ahead and read this one in your best uncomfortable voice. I think is what we need here.
Uncomfortable. You want me to
Yeah.
be like the soul of the great yang? No. What do you mean by uncomfortable? As in I'll make you uncomfortable or I'm uncomfortable?
Oh no, you being uncomfortable is always preferable.
Like there's a thumb where you don't want it.
Yeah.
As a thumb. Okay, so I'm like, the soul of the great yang is destined to awaken in what was it, Rokuro, but at first it wants to kill him.
Oh,
Will Rokuro make it to the altar on time, let alone alive? To marry Binio? And he's starting an "and" with a capital. That's just a no-no. And can he trust an offer of help from a most unlikely, impossible ally?
wow, that sounds
To turn me on.
completely. I don't know
Isn't it?
about
Yeah,
that.
you like that? All right.
Yeah, uncomfortable certainly. Rokuro and Benio. So I don't know. This is a girl and a guy though, so I don't know. I don't think it is actually one of the homosexual books. They do have those though. Undead Unluck. All right.
Never
I
heard of
don't like the
shit
look at
name.
all.
What is this?
What?
What is this? I hate this. I know
Yeah, I
nothing
don't
about this
like
and
it
I
at
hate it.
all. Yeah, no, this is I don't know what this is. Now Dr. Stone has actually been quite popular for quite a while. The anime has had a fair run. I think you can actually even watch Dr. Stone in the West. I don't care for it, but it is what it is. You got Dragon Ball Super, which everybody hates, so
Oh,
I don't even know why this is still going on because this is really getting nothing but hate. They don't like it.
in
Uh,
Japan?
yeah, they hate it. Yeah, I don't know what's
Oh,
going on, but they hate it. My Hero Academia, of course, is an absolute mega hit, and it continues to roll on and roll on. So good on him for that. This right here is Yakuza Lover. Okay. Well, he's got himself
a
something
lover.
there, Mr. Yakuza man.
Mhm.
Yuri and Oya's romantic getaway in Shanghai is cut short when sinister Russian mob boss Semilio kidnaps Yuri and tries to make her his own. Oh no! But Yuri won't be won over so easily. Well, he kidnapped her. He's not going to be won over. Oh, whatever. As she fights off Semilio's advances, Oya suddenly comes to her rescue. Da da da! With Yuri finally out of harm's way, Oya charges headfirst into battle against Semilio, leaving Yuri to wonder if he'll make it out alive. It's got an age rating mature. So I think she get naked. I think she gets naked.
Nice. Some anime titties.
Well, and you know the Japanese, they do not shy away from any of those things that you're supposed to shy away in the West from. They don't do that. So
Mhm.
bad things could happen. I think bad things are going to happen. Prince Freya. Prince Freya?
Prince Freya?
Hmm.
That's not it. But Freya's a girl's name.
I think they want to say Prince Frey, but that's okay. It's okay. Snow White with the red hair. That sounds interesting. That was this type of art. Interesting.
Pretty. But I
Uh,
thought
Where's the red hair?
I was
well,
gonna
she's
say
not in the
Rose
panel
Red
in this
was
particular panel. Yeah. You
hmm,
got Animal
like that.
Crossing for those
Animal
of you who
Crossing.
love that.
What?
Alrighty.
I don't get those
Bleh,
things.
bleh, the
What?
Edge of Balance. Star Wars High Republic.
Who's names on the who are the names on the credits?
Shima Shinya
Justina,
and
Ireland?
Justina Ireland, art by Mizuki Sakakibara.
So
Uh,
what is a Japanese created Star Wars story?
well, they got a white lady over there to keep them on track, I'm sure.
Oh.
So well, we know this is a train wreck, but you know they're trying to expand it wherever they can. So cool. And Japanese are Star Wars fan. Yokai Watch is still around. Wow, I thought this was dead. Kirby Manga Mania. All right, yes, Kirby lives on, the immortal. You do realize that Kirby is the most powerful video game character ever created, right?
He is. He's extremely overpowered.
He's OP from the OG. Hmm hmm
As he deserves to be.
Did I
He's
get that
adorable.
right? Did I get that right?
No,
I think I
it's
was cool
the,
for
like
half
the
a
cringiest
second,
dad
Eric.
thing of all time.
So
God.
embarrassing.
Yeah. It made my dick invert, but I literally have it because I'm nice like that.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair. Pokemon Sun and Moon. Alrighty. But
Why
we got
video
Zelda.
Zelda.
Yeah, nice.
It's nice art too.
Yeah, it is. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's a little better than normal. Let's see here. You got
Splatoon?
Splatoon, which is super popular over here. Did I tell you guys that when my kid was in high school, he's part of a four-man team, and that they were the world champion Splatoon team? Did I tell you that?
Oh, you did. You told us all about that.
I thought that was oddly cool. I mean, these boys are from a little teeny frickin' fishing village in the middle of Japan. How in the hell are they the international Splatoon champions? It was weird.
Gonna regret asking this. What's Splatoon?
Because the
It's
Japanese
a
suck at shooters.
yeah, it's a shooter. It's a cute little shooter. You use paint and stuff instead of guns. And
Oh,
you're
okay.
playing like Squid People, and you have a four-man team, and you kind of go against,
Yeah.
you know, it's fun.
Okay.
He used to wreck the Japanese of that game.
Yeah, well, you know, so but that's an interesting little thing. There you go. Splatoon. Oh God, no. Fist of the North Star, no. Really?
Of his chin.
Are they redoing this? Oh, I got to read this. Hold on a second. All right, so that doesn't help me. Let's just tell me what's going on. It doesn't tell me. Are they just reprinting this, or are they redoing it?
All right. Read that, but you have to translate it in Japanese in real time.
No.
Howard.
Mason Ikoku. This one looks adult for sure. No, a teen. Okay. Beastars. They had that on Netflix. I
That
was
was
afraid to watch it.
weirdly popular, but that's like some weird furry shit.
Yeah. Well, it is a furry thing. Yeah, that's for sure. But look at the list of stuff. Oh, that's a classic right there. Fly Me to the Moon. Alrighty. But the one thing that you guys might be noticing. What was that?
And let me play Among the Stars.
Yes. Hayata, the combat butler. Okay, perfect. But one thing I hope you guys are noticing here as I go through all of this stuff is the absolute diversity of story. There's so many different things going on here. Even if it might be weird to you and it's not something you're interested in, look how different it is. Look how interesting all these things are. This is literally horrible, but it's the way of the house husband. What the hell? That doesn't exist here. Let me read this. All of Tatsu's hustling and networking since leaving the Yakuza, has earned him an offer he can't refuse. An invitation to run with the Women's Association, the movers and shakers of his neighborhood. Oh my God, the Bachans. Before he can be initiated, though, the immortal dragon must prove to the board's heavyweights that he truly can hack it as a homemaker. It will be the greatest test of his house husband skills yet. Jesus, dude. Alrighty. Well, there you go. That I don't need to say anything more. That exists in Japan. So
there's a manga for everything.
There is.
Even things that shouldn't be.
Yeah, but isn't that a good thing, though?
No.
Eh.
If anything, it makes me think of the whole flood the markets game of the Western comics, but whatever.
Well, yeah, but here it works, and it's worked.
It's
for
a
decades.
neutral thing. I'd say it's a neutral thing. I don't think it's good or bad. It just is.
Yeah.
It's better than Western nonsense, where their comics are basically all the same shit over and over and over on repeat. But I wouldn't say it's a good thing per se.
Well, you know what we have here? We have stores the size of large pharmacies that are filled wall to wall with manga. No statues to buy, no board games, no video game section, just manga wall to wall. Do you have that anymore?
Bookstores, yeah.
I thought those were basically almost dead.
No.
Actually, the bookstores I've been into recently, Books A Million and Borders, actually do have statues and stuff in there too.
Yeah.
Toys
is
and
it?
games now.
Right.
Yeah. It's
And
I don't
you
understand why.
can't get away from it. Yeah.
I'll be completely honest. I don't understand why anybody would go to a bookstore nowadays unless it was like an antique one or something. Because you can just order it on the internet and it's at your house in a day. So, I mean, unless it's just something to do kind of deal. But other than that, there's really no reason other than like Booster just said, just to peruse and do something to do
yeah.
to buy them from a brick and mortar that I can unless it's an antique store, right? It's an old ones, you don't want to ship it, something like that, or they don't have a website or something. Okay, yeah. But one of the big box ones, I just don't see any purpose. Maybe if you had kids and you want to get them into reading, maybe that, but for anybody else, I don't it doesn't make sense to me.
I actually look for action figures I can't find anywhere else because they do have toys like Books A Million, and I collect Pops, the Funko Pop.
Oh my God! You admitted it live.
That's it. We got to take it. Where's that man card? Come
Oh
on.
my God!
I have
give it
over
up.
150 of them.
Oh my God! You are
no!
addicted, sir.
You're in deep.
He's in deep.
All right.
Joshua
Check
is
him
being
out.
contrary,
I'm checking.
Booster. He said Kirby sucks. Oh my God. That's just sacrilege.
That Kirby? How dare he?
I know, how dare he.
Take away his wrench.
Dave asked an interesting question. Are the Yakuza still around? Yes, dude. They're an ingrained part of Japanese culture. I don't know that you could get rid of them.
I think if they
You
were
said they were
almost
pussies.
gone,
They are,
I-
comparatively.
I think if they
Still.
nearly got them completely gone, the Japanese would literally institutionalize them. That's like some sort of heritage thing because they're so ingrained into the culture to the point where they have mangas about ex-Yakuza house husbands. It's ridiculous.
They do. I mean, look what they're doing, right? But no, they still do. And no, they're not. I mean, in their culture, they're tough. But just coming from my point of view, they're not really. And it's just a culture thing. A Japanese person would be absolutely terrified of a Yakuza. Where me, I find them cute. But
Yeah, they're 5'4", so yeah, they're adorable.
yeah, and they're all vibrato, no action.
Do you mean bravado?
Didn't I say that?
Vibrato?
It works either way. Oh, goodness. You have been the chat is now requesting that Eric be castrated, so we'll get right to that.
Summarily removed.
Yeah, so
I love my
I wouldn't
Funkos.
get
I mean, my 156 Funkos is valued at right now $1,000. I have sold some for $60, $70, $80. I paid like $5 for.
Why?
I don't know.
Why would
They
you
are
want
cute.
that
I kind of
much?
get it. Yeah.
But I like the Flash, so I collect the Flash. I like Deadpool, so I try to collect Deadpool ones. Like that. Oh, the Seinfeld ones just came out. Oh my God, they're so cute.
Oh,
Seinfeld?
Jesus Christ.
Oh my God! I'm changing the topic because I wanted to make a point for about 5 fucking minutes. All right. I
Okay.
wanted to talk about because you talk about the diversity of topics within manga, right? There's so many different kind of manga and everything. But I feel that comics also had that for a very long time, even if there
It did.
was a concentrated thing on superheroes. But it feels like at the moment it's all just fucking superheroes, right? Because when I think of everything that isn't superheroes, I'm always thinking 90s Vertigo era. Why did they kill it? Because so many people know Preacher, The Boys, Sandman. Well, The Boys are still superheroes. You know what I fucking mean.
Well, the reason why it is as it is now is because they're trying to ride the coattails of the MCU success. That's what's happening
It'll
now.
not be working. I feel like they really should have been writing that shit harder and try to sell that shit at the theaters or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Oh no,
but
we all agree
it's
on that. That's true,
not
Booster.
working.
Yeah. And they should have been able, kids should have been able to come in and get a Captain America book. They should have come and been able
How
to get a
is
Thor book
MCU so
instead of the
fucking big,
nonsense
but
that
the
they were.
comics aren't selling? It's so
Yeah.
strange.
It is strange. Yeah, it is strange. But anyway, let's move on here, and let's go into our next story, which is interesting. I think. Go ahead, Booster.
What is this? What is story going about this time? Margot Robbie announces she's taking a break from Harley Quinn. What a shame. Hence, Warner Brothers has no roadmap for DC Comics films. No shit. They're
Okay.
making shit up as they go on the fly. Why do you think that they have like 5 different kind of movie types that have no kind of connection to each other?
Yeah,
Ugh.
that's true. Well, this article doesn't say anything more than that. I mean, it's literally that there's nothing to read. That's all this article says is exactly what the headline says. There's a couple nice little pictures and a video. Aw. But beyond, oh, that's a cute one. Let's leave it on that. Really, what I put this up for was to ask the question of what could have been. When they came out with the original Suicide Squad, it was a hot mess. We all agree. It was a hot mess. But a couple of interesting things did come out of it. Captain Boomerang was badass, which doesn't make any
Ugh.
sense. Can't believe the words came out of my mouth, but he was badass. And Margot Robbie was absolutely purely fuckable. I
Oh
mean,
my.
my God, dude. No, come on now. Come on now, Eric. She was.
Of course she is. I mean,
Yes, Ed Shagger. All right, fine.
And then what did they do? They covered her up. It's kind of like with Scarlett bitching about people looking at her tits. It's like, yeah, well, that's why you got paid. That's why you're a millionaire. What are you bitching about? You know, Margot, I've seen her in a few things. She can do the job, and that's about it. I haven't seen her excel. She hasn't ever moved me with her acting, but she can do the job. The best thing I saw her in was that Tanya Harding story, and it was fine. Right? Okay, so she's very much like Scarlett Johansson. She can do the job, but she's not going to be, winning any awards in my book because she's just not that level, and that's all right. Her thing is she's sexy, cute, and hot, and she's really good at that, and she just sells it. And they completely wasted her in the last movie. It looks like in this movie they do let her sexuality shine a little more, but not completely. So the real thing that she seems to be complaining here is she's making two statements. And they did cover up to a point though. But the two things she's really complaining about here is the fact that she's tired. Okay, fine. I don't know if that's true or not. But the main thing is Warner Brothers doesn't seem to have any plan for her. Now, how could you take a character that was instantly liked? It was the only thing that really had any kind of push out of that movie and not capitalize on that. I just don't understand. Anybody?
Warner
Um,
Brothers hasn't had a plan for any of the DC universe. I mean, the roadmap was put out there by Marvel for them, and they just
Yeah,
didn't read
They
it.
dropped the ball completely. It's ridiculous.
it is.
They're terrified of money and success. I don't know.
It seems that way sometimes, doesn't it? You were going to say something, Thunder?
well, you're also forgetting that Birds of Prey exists, and she's a big reason that existed and was just. There's not even a word in the English language to describe how awful that shit was.
We're trying to forget.
No, we
Yeah.
are, but I mean, that's what I mean. They covered her up and they made her anti-male. It's like, what are you doing? That's exactly the opposite of what you should be doing.
I think their market research on the popularity of Harley Quinn is lying to them. I don't think she's as popular of a character as they want her to be. I think she's one of those characters that's so basic and generic now that normies who don't actually care glom onto her as if, they're huge fans. It's kind of like a big virtue signal to be a Harley Quinn fan. But it's not something that's going to drive people to go see a Harley Quinn movie, watch a Harley Quinn show, read a Harley Quinn book. Now, granted, the Harley Quinn show, I guess, is relatively successful. They're going to make more of it. But I don't think it's as big as they think it is. I think the perceived value of that character is way higher than the value of that character.
Well, the animated
And I think we're finding that out with her.
Yeah, no,
Right.
and I get what you're saying, but the animated show is in the vein of The Dark Knight, so of course it's popular. However, if they had made The Birds of Prey and they had a scene where she was changing out of clothes in a little string bikini, like 3 or 5, 10 times maybe, yeah, that people would have they would have made $1 billion.
Nah. It's too easy to get on the internet now.
Fair
Doesn't
enough.
sell like it used to.
Uh,
Especially her. She's got all kinds of scenes where she's walking around like that in other movies.
yeah, but she sells sex well. Margot
Yeah,
does that
I
really
don't
well.
think she's sexy personally. I think she has a man jaw and a giant freaking mouth that you could fit a whole apple in. That's not sexy to me at all.
That's the point.
That's the point. Yeah.
No, that's no. She could fit 4 cocks in her mouth at once. There's nothing sexy about that.
Some
The
people.
only movie where she looked sexy was Wolf of Wall Street. That's the only one.
Wow.
Every other movie I've seen her in, she's just plain vanilla, super skinny white bitch. That's all she is, and that just does
Well,
nothing for me.
I think she was in a Tarzan movie, and she was way too skinny in that. However, there you go, end of an era, I guess. But she's out. She's out. So,
What a shame.
what a shame. And I don't even think the new Suicide Squad has dropped yet, has it?
No.
Yeah.
Not
So
yet.
anyway, let's move along then. Now this I thought was kind of interesting.
What do we have here? New Witcher graphic novels from Dark Horse announced at WitchCon. That's not the only thing, man. They're also doing a Netflix animated show, I think.
Yep.
They're getting another season.
There's a
Of
new
Witcher, yeah.
new Hot Toys run coming. There's a whole bunch of
Yeah.
stuff. They're
All
actually
sorts of
pushing
Witcher
Witcher
goodness.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, yeah. But since we're talking about comics and we don't get to talk about Dark Horse very much, which I always was a big fan of Dark Horse, I think it's cool that we are getting some more Geralt or however you'd like to pronounce it. But this is kind of gives us a layout of what's happening here. Geralt's encounter with the beast reveal. Where is it here? No, they gave me, or maybe there's another article I was reading. Anyway, I'll just read it. Geralt's encounter with the beast reveals the truth behind fairy tales in this graphic novel, adapted with the original story of Grain of Truth. This is coming out of someone else's story. The famed Witcher Geralt takes a shortcut down a beaten path where he makes a grim discovery of 2 corpses. Backtracking their trail, he's led to a derelict mansion adorned with a rare elegance he can't ignore. Geralt is met with the mansion's owner, not quite human, but a beast with the faculties of a man. Okay, unfazed by his monstrous appearance and displays of aggression, the beast invites him inside. A kind but wary host, he shares stories of his family, his life, and his curse. Well, that's interesting. So it's going to be like an anthology of some kind. A retribution spoken of only in fairy tales. Could there be another grain of truth in these tales of fantasy? One that could help him elude his fate and lead him to salvation. So they're doing like an anthology. The Witcher's going to be sitting down talking to the Beast from Beauty and the Beast, it sounds like, and he's going to be telling stories. That's interesting. What do you guys think about that?
I don't know what I think about that. Is Sapkowski, is that how you say his name? Is he involved in this in any way, or is this just another adaptation? Oh, it's the
yeah.
graphic novel adaptation. I see it right there.
It is the original story by him. Yeah, A Grain of Truth. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that could be cool. I actually have in my hand, I just got it today, the first of the Witcher stories, The Last Wish. And I'm going to read through it. So it's pretty cool. I really love Witcher. I love the games. I love the whole universe. And I want to read through the novels because why wouldn't I want to read through the novels? And this one here isn't really a novel from what I understand. It's kind of a collection of stories. It's almost like a prologue to the actual saga.
That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
And yeah, I'm gonna check it out, and then if I like it, I'm gonna go ahead and get the rest of them. But no, I think The Witcher has tons of potential. I've often said that they should do more with it. And as CD Projekt Red, before they decided to just do everything wrong with Cyberpunk, I wanted them to make a new Witcher game where we could make our own Witchers, like our actual full RPG.
That'd
Yeah,
be
it'd
cool.
be
But
sweet.
everybody would just call their Witcher Elric.
I wouldn't, because I'm creative, Chester.
I love the cover though. I'm showing the cover here. It looks really good, and it's an interesting concept. Geralt is simply having a sit down, and stories are being told, and it's going to be more fairy tale based. I think that's cool.
Yeah, I like it. I like the idea, and I want more Witcher content. I'm glad I did see the trailer for season 2, and it didn't look like it sucks. We'll see.
Well, I
But
finally did.
I'm excited about old Henry Cavill. I don't even care if the rest of the show sucks, as long as they give me some Henry Cavill action as Geralt. I'm good. And it
I
looks like we're gonna get.
I did finally watch the rest of the series.
Uh oh.
And I haven't watched it. I haven't read it or anything. So tell me about it. Be something
Well,
I'd be interested in.
it should be called Yennefer, a
Yeah.
Witcher saga, is what it should be called. It's all about her. She's an absolute torrid bitch, as she should
Yep.
be.
Yep.
So they got it right. They got the Yennefer thing correct, and his frustration with her is well played, Mr. Cavell. But it's not about Geralt. It's Yennefer. He
Well,
shows
from
up
what
here or there, right?
I could see in the trailer, now it's just a trailer, and obviously they're going to put him front and center, but if the trailer's tone plays into the next season, this next season's going to be much more about Geralt, the other Witchers, because they're going to introduce the other Witchers, and, what's her name, Cirilla. Seem to be, at least that trailer, they're the main focus. Yennefer only gets one shot in the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's it.
Which I don't mind the story of Yennefer. They told it fairly well. I mean, it had a little bumps, but it wasn't. It was a good Yennefer story. It just wasn't what it should have been. Geralt. However, the one thing I really did like the last scene, how they handled Ciri. I did like that. I think they handled Ciri well. I think the girl they chose is one of the most freakish human beings I've ever seen in my life. However, but I thought they handled that well. So I think the show, if they can get back on track and tell us Geralt's story, I think I'd probably appreciate it more because Henry Cavill plays him really well. Now, because I know the Witcher story, while watching those 10 episodes was it, whatever it was, while watching it, I didn't get lost in the time jumping, right? I
Yeah.
understood what was going on. However, the majority of people have not read the Witcher's books,
Yeah.
and it must have been crazy confusing, dude, because they're time jumping like mad,
Yeah, the time jumps in that show
decades.
were a bit much. I had to have it spoiled for me that let me try that again. I had to have the whole thing spoiled for me that there was time jumping to understand that there was time jumping, right?
Yeah.
Because I didn't catch on to that at all at
A
first.
date on the bottom of the screen would have handled it.
Yeah, that's all they had to do. I don't know why. We'll find narrative ways to let them know. Just dude, just stop.
Once I figured out, oh, there is time jumping, because I didn't even know there was time jumping, right?
Well, they were covering 5 or 6 era of time.
Yeah.
That, I mean, literally, and they're
So when
jumping off throughout it.
So when someone said, "Oh yeah, there's time jumping," it must be a bit confusing. I was like, "There's time jumping? That makes so much more sense now."
Yeah, that was a huge problem, I think, for a lot of people. However, like I said, if it was just titled "The Story of Yennefer," okay, right? And actually, I think since that's what they wanted to do anyway, I really wish they would just titled it "The Story of Yennefer: A Witcher Tale," and dove deeper into it. It's really because I think they tell her story fairly well, but it's lacking because they felt that, oh, we better put Henry Cavill. We haven't seen him in a while. Better drop him in there. So in my opinion, I think they should have went even deeper with it and just gave it a title. Why not? You want to tell her story? We'll start out with her, and then tell the story of Geralt or the story of Ciri or any of the other Witchers. So I don't understand. It's very confusing the way they went about it, but. I probably will check out season 2, though. I think I will because Henry just plays it so well. He really
He really
is
does.
perfect. Yeah,
It's he loves the character. He's a big old nerd, and he's Geralt. They
he
can't
is.
go forward with this franchise and dismiss him because he's just embodied the character so well
I don't
that
know if
it's
true.
Yeah,
Sorry.
he did. And the girl who's playing Yennefer
Oh,
is perfect as well. She's really good. I mean, she doesn't look like her, but she plays her well.
she's a bitch. Yeah.
It's perfect. Yeah.
What were you gonna say,
I
Booster?
I don't know if it's true, but I heard that Henry Cavill was supposed to just use his normal voice, but just kind of forgot.
I like that. I like that.
And I guess no one chased him up on it.
It works well. I really don't think it's a problem. We'll see what they do. Do keep in mind, Eric, that they have race swapped and even gender swapped, but they've race swapped a lot. Yennefer is
Okay.
not Yennefer, right? But that girl
and
does
the-
a good
the
job.
ginger
I think
chick-
she's like an
the ginger
Indian or
chick
something.
is not attractive.
She's not attractive, but that's okay. I'm not hating
They
on
missed
that,
with
right?
Triss. It was pretty brutal what
Is-
they did
is-
to Triss.
She as ugly as the people from Sweet
The people from
From-
Sweden? No.
Tooth. Sweet Tooth.
Oh no, not that. It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
Okay,
It's
okay,
more
okay.
BBC. Gotta have Pakistani in there.
Okay.
That type of thinking is what it is. But no, she's not very attractive. But I thought she did a good job as Yennefer, though. I'm not hating on her at all. I just don't
I'm
understand
talking
why they
about
just didn't
Yennefer, I
call her
thought she was
Yennefer.
attractive. I was saying Triss was just brutal looking.
Oh no, they're not pretty. Who was the one who he had to kill? I can't remember the character's name, but she was attractive. Let's see here. The elves, the forest people, right? They're all black. They're led by blacks too. The black leaders it makes perfect sense, up in Poland with all them black elves running around.
Of course.
Yeah, that is rather annoying, especially like Booster was saying what they did to Triss. My lord, like okay, you're gonna race swap her, but at least find a pretty black girl. What are you doing?
Yeah, no.
Like, I'm
they don't.
sorry, but that
Yeah.
chick is hideous.
There's a
she's
lot of-
she's
lot of
not
ugly
even
ones.
nice to look at.
No.
Like she's so ugly.
No.
Like I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
oh, that's unfortunate.
We got Niobe Comics in here. He thinks she's hot as fuck. No, she's not, dude. I mean, she's a pretty normal looking lady, and she's not very attractive. But that I don't think she has to be. I mean, they went and race swapped her. All right, fine. But I think she did a good job as Yennefer. I have nothing negative to say beyond the fact that it just should have been called Yennefer. That's really my only main complaint. And you hardly get Henry Cavill. It's like what? Geralt should be everywhere, but you can go long stints and not see him. But whatever. They established they can completely change a person's physical form, so made that they can swap actresses if they need be. Well, yeah, I guess that's true. Stupid. I don't know if I'd go that first name, brother.
All right,
But
I looked it up.
Oh, jeez.
That's true,
Oh.
stupid.
I
I
looked
didn't
up
choose
just
it.
because you
He
keep
chose it.
banging on about it. Henry Cavill has 198 minutes of screen time throughout the season 1 of Witcher,
The
while
entire
Yennefer
season.
has 161 minutes.
Yeah, well, they jump around to lots of different characters. They do, and to be fair, there are many scenes that Yennefer's in where he's in the background. That's true. That is true. But you cannot deny that whole season is about Yennefer. It's her story, and I don't mind that.
Season? She has her story in it, but I don't know.
The whole
You've been
thing is
banging on
about
about this
her.
for a long time. I don't agree. I think you're full of
Well,
rubbish.
that's fine. I have watched it from beginning to end, and it is absolutely the story of Yennefer. Now they'll have little one-offs here where he's doing something there or something over here, and they're using it to tell the story that's in the future, which we're probably getting into season 2
Yeah.
with Ciri. Yes, but it is Yennefer's story. Do you disagree, Thunder?
I'd say the first major arc is more about her, but I think the point of that season was because I don't think it was politically done, to be honest. I think the reason they did that is because everybody's already there for Geralt anyway, Everybody's they're going to show up for that, and Henry Cavill killed it. So we're going to show up for that regardless. So they want to kind of focus on other characters and build them up a little bit. And Yen is an extremely important character
She is.
in the mythos. So I don't. Like you said, it doesn't bother me that
No.
they focused on her. I just want more Henry Cavill. He's
Me
so good.
Yeah.
That's all. That's my whole thing. I want more of him, and I think this next season we're going to get a lot more of him. I really do.
I hope so. But especially seeing as they've killed so many off in the season 1, so we should be getting into the series story. I think is what's coming. And the good thing about series story is that has Geralt with her. So, but anyway, let's move on. So, a new comic. I don't know the interior, but the cover looks great. Let's move on.
Zach did it.
Oh, did he?
It looks like Zach did it. I mean, it looks very much like Zach's art.
I
Nope.
don't think it's literally Zach who did it, but it's still good.
It is good, yeah. But anyway, let's move on here. I thought we'd talk a little since we mentioned it already. It was kind of foreshadowing. Action figures. Go ahead, Booster.
Would you look at that? Marvel's Hercules looks pumped and ready as a new exclusive figure.
All right, now Marvel has put out some good action figures over the years, to be sure. DC has as well. Matter of fact, the DC one is probably more collectible. The DC series they put out way back is probably more collectible than any of the Marvel stuff, aside from McFarlane's Spawn things, which isn't Marvel anyway. But we just mentioned that The Witcher is coming out with a lot of promotional stuff, including new hot toy line. Of action figures and such. Action
McFarlane.
figures, McFarlane
McFarlane's
as well.
doing the Witcher figure. He does the DC figures now as of this year.
Yeah, no, he is. You're right. And I saw today when I was going, and actually the past few days, kind of trying to pay attention for today's show. There's a lot of action figure news. I didn't put it all on here today, but I chose a couple ones. This one I chose because, well, I mean, when you look at it at a distance, you're like, oh, that's not bad. And then let's get close up here. Okay. I don't know, but it disturbs me. It disturbs me to no end. Can someone
hell
help me, please?
Am I looking at here?
Could be the gay head on the body.
What is in his hand? What is that supposed to be?
It's a mace,
It is?
I guess.
That would be
The most I've ever seen.
highly inefficient mace.
It
That
would be, especially because he carries a club.
Yeah.
He carries a club and he has an impenetrable cloak of the Nemean lion, which he wears
Yeah,
about his shoulder.
Which he somehow killed, even though it was impenetrable. But details.
Well,
Details.
He destroyed it from the inside. And of course, the other major weapon of Hercules, which you never see in the comic books ever, is his poison tip arrows.
Yep.
I mean,
He never
that
has
was
his bow.
major thing, and we never
Yep.
see it. Why is that?
I don't know. It's because
I
I do know.
didn't know
I
that
can
was
explain
a
that real easy. For some reason, in modern Western,
Wow, did we lose Thundero?
I think. Oh, I thought I disconnected. All right, there you go. I guess he died on us.
Well-
I wonder if I can figure out what point he was going to get across. I think he was going to say that for some reason in modern Western culture we find poison to be an evil thing to use against enemies.
Feminine, even. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Was
that's
that the-
fair.
oh, Is it
Yeah.
back?
Well,
I
he'll
think he's
figure
having
that out.
trouble connecting.
But one thing to keep in mind, though, in many of the stories of Hercules, not just the 12 labors, which everyone seems to concentrate on. He has many other tales, right? But he uses that bow all the time. It's one of his major go-to weapons. He'll go to that before he goes to his strength, actually. Because one of the things that Marvel does and many other people do is they always want to concentrate on the strength of Hercules. Yes, he is powerful, but the stories are often describing the wit and cleverness of Hercules. That's what most of the stories are doing. They're trying to show how clever he is, more so than how powerful he is. I don't know why the comic books decided to just ignore that completely and make him basically a big old oaf. But they did.
They might not have known about the other things.
How
They
you
just
can read
knew.
them.
Well, they didn't do their research. They didn't do the research. They'd always heard someone say, "Yeah, Hercules is strong." Well, let's make the guy just strong.
Mm.
Daryl,
Eric,
you back?
I think it's the hair that's bugging me, dude. It's the hair. Yeah,
Is it the hair?
it is the hair. Not his hair. The hair on his chest.
Oh.
It's bothering me. It's bothering
The
me.
shoulders.
And his shoulders. I don't know, Chad. What do you think of this toy? I think the problem that I don't like it, and I think the problem with it is that he's wearing too little clothing. You know, it's not being covered, and that makes it more difficult to pull the action figure off. However, the adjustable points on this character, which I'm sure there's probably a better word for it, but the adjustable points on this are outrageous. Look at all the
The-
different modes of movement you could put him through. Look at that.
Points of articulation.
That makes sense. I'll go with that.
He's
That's
probably
a good
got
choice.
I believe he has butterfly joints inside the shoulders so they can come forward and back.
Yep.
Got the bicep swivel. He's got the double hinged elbow, as well as the double hinged knees. He's got a thigh cut so he can swivel there, and there's
Yep.
another cut just above the boot so he can swivel there as well.
That's right. Yeah.
They should have an up and down or left and right on the as well.
Well, his neck and head are both separately articulated.
Yes.
He has an abdomen articulation as well. But I don't like this, and I think it's just because Hercules doesn't wear a lot of clothing. But the articulation and the fun of play, if kids even play with action figures anymore, I think is pretty awesome.
Oh yeah, I wish they would have been like this when I was a kid.
Yeah. Let me see.
Star Wars with her straight arms.
Let me come over and see if there's anything I can do. You just have to. What you have to do, Thundero, is completely shut off Discord. Completely shut it off, and then come back in. You'll be fine. I have that problem from time to time. But anyway, I just want to show it, and we'll come back to it. We'll move on.
What I was trying to say before Discord decided to have an aneurysm
There you go.
about the arrows and the bow and all that is, for some reason, in modern zeitgeist of that stuff, when we think of bows, we think of archers, we think of frail people, like weaker people, and we think of warriors like Hercules as like big monsters. But that's complete nonsense.
It is.
Especially old school archers were beasts because those bows were heavy.
Had to be.
Yeah, you had to be a beast.
Yeah, no, and that is very true. But it's just one of those other Hollywood tropes, is what it is. They had to figure out, how do we make women? This is back when they cared. How do we put women in a combat situation and we can make them effective in a fantasy setting? The bow, right? And it works. To be fair, it works, because most people have never touched a bow and they don't understand that that's nonsense. But it does work, and that's why they did that. I actually prefer bow hunting over guns, and so I always had a bow. I got a bow right now, and my bow is it's a compound bow, but it's an 80-pound pull, right? And of course, the good thing about being compound is, you only have to pull that 80 pounds a certain a few inches, and then you got it, and it's half that on the back end. Now, for me, it's no problem pulling that bow all day long. But the thing I thought was funny is, back, it's been a while, but we used to have a bunch of foreigners around here. We don't anymore. But all the guys wanted to try the bow. None of them could pull it. How sad is that shit? You can't pull an 80-pound bow? What the hell, dude? I mean, you only got to break
rough.
like a 4-inch section, right?
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
That is rough.
Yeah,
dude. I was shocked.
Which is weird that that's a trope, because there's been plenty historically, female warriors who weren't archers. They were, warriors. They used swords and shields and whatever, or axes, like one-handed axes and a shield. It doesn't take a great amount of strength to make that efficient. The only time when you need a great amount of strength in that regard is if you're in a scrum with somebody.
Yeah.
But if you're on a battlefield with other people, yeah, female warriors could work. They weren't super common, but they happened.
And traditionally, women fighters tended to use thinner, lighter weapons and would rely on accuracy and speed. Yeah.
Yes. And a spear is a spear.
Yep.
It doesn't take much strength. I mean, if you're using a big, long pike, yeah. But most spears aren't that. Even historically, they were what we would call a short spear today. And it's just a quick little jabby weapon. You don't need a lot of strength for that. You don't need a lot of anything for that, really. You just need to be around other people with shields and spears to keep, protect each other.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of ways of doing it. It's just Hollywood's lack of imagination.
Yeah,
More than
no,
anything.
yeah, but I think it does work though, because you can envision a lot of people can see a woman with a bow and like, oh, that's a good choice. It's
Mhm.
not, but it seems so. Pete Mack is saying, yes, indeed, the strength for Odysseus was to string his great bow, and only Odysseus was strong enough to do that. Now you're talking about a ridiculously heavy bow with that though, and
Yep.
it was magical, really. But I've actually, because as I told you guys before, I used to do SEA stuff, and so I've actually pulled an English bow before. Those are around 100, 120 pounds
Yep.
to pull one of those, and that's a bitch. That is a bitch. I was able to do it, and I had to work on it a little bit, and I was able to be target accurate, which isn't great, but I could hit the target anyway. But the reason why the English were capable of pulling such heavy bows is because from young childhood, what they do is they go out to the church, and I don't know if you guys know this, but a lot of the reasons why there's a steeple on the Protestant type churches or the even the Church of England type of churches later, and even the ones before, was because what the English would do is they put this kind of like a cork ball up on the very top of the steeple. And every Saturday or Sunday, the whole town was required, all the men were required to go out and practice shooting at that ball sitting on top of the steeple. And they did this from very young age, and they started with a lighter bow and they worked their way up to the standard English longbow. So they grew up pulling those bows, and they had the technique and the built up strength to do so. And of course, if you read history whatsoever, you understand that the English bowman was terrifying.
Yep.
Terrifying. Yeah.
Yep.
But anyway, I just always thought it was strange that Hercules never has his bow, and it's like his go-to weapon. Sorry, Booster, go ahead.
I was just saying that it was rad, the English bowmen. We need to bring that shit back.
They were badass, dude.
Mandatory bowmen.
Terrifying.
Oh,
Yeah.
I have to go. The woman's calling me. Later, nerds.
The woman's calling? Is the crack whore back?
Yeah, he's simping out again.
Why is this?
What? Okay, fine. He's simping out again. Fair enough. All right. Go ahead, Thundera.
Hang on, I have to reopen everything because Discord decided to be stupid. Dwayne Johnson shows first glimpse at Black Adam's costume on set.
Okay. Now, I know it's hard to get excited about anything that's going on in the world today. Fair enough. However, the first time it was mentioned, Dwayne Johnson and Black Adam in the same sentence, my little girl went off. I mean, it's just the way it is, because it's the most perfect pairing I could ever possibly imagine. And I think it gives Dwayne Johnson an opportunity to try to push his chops a little bit. He's really funny. He's great at being funny. He's great at being heroic. He's good at these things. But can he pull off a deeper dramatic role? I think he can. I think he's capable of it. And this
so.
character will give him the opportunity to do that. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited about Dwayne Johnson as Black Adam. Would you like to see the picture we got? What do you want to see?
Let's see it. Let's see it right now. Oh. Oh my. Zoom in on that. Let's get that bigger. Can we get that bigger? Can we get that bigger?
Probably. Let me see here. Oh. No, it decided to go down again. No, that's the wrong direction. There we go. That's about the best I'm going to do, I guess. No, I don't want you. Stop that. Go away. Okay, here we go. But clearly, anybody who's read a Black Adam book, he's in his throne room. It looks like he's awoken somewhere else, and there's some workmen here. They're maybe uncovering the ruins or what have you, and he's coming in to see his throne room. And of course, his eternal quest is for his bride, his wife. So I'm assuming that's what we're looking at. It's they're teasing us, the bastards. We're only getting the back of them, but even that, I'm like, yeah, dude.
Looks good.
It
Looks
does.
very good.
They didn't do the ears though.
We'll never get to see Henry Cavill versus his Black Adam.
Maybe not. Yeah.
DC, why? Why do you do this to us, DC?
Yeah.
We don't want many things, DC. We just want a good Superman movie with Henry Cavill. That's it. Just one. Just give me one. That's all I wanted. Wasn't asking much. Wasn't asking much.
What do you think, Eric?
I think it looks cool. I think it's probably a production piece because I think that's probably part of the crew down there. But it looks really cool. They might put the ears in digitally later.
They might, or this could be literally someone found a tomb and they're digging it up and they just have archaeological equipment in, and this person's just over here doing some cleanup. Or it's exactly what you said it is. However, it is a set photo, so you're probably more right than me, I would say. I got to ask a question though, because there was a question earlier, and then this one comes up. Do you have Black Adam Funko Pop?
I do not.
Oh my God!
I have very
Why do you
few
even
DC
mention
pops.
owning them then?
I have a 10-inch Superman.
A 10-inch Superman. Now, someone in the
He's
chat
the
earlier,
big Superman.
it's the big one, yeah. Now, someone in the chat asked, do you have the Hulk, and is it actually bigger than normal?
There is a larger than normal Hulk, but I do not have him.
You don't have it, yeah. Yeah, I don't know
Got
why.
Smokey and the Bandit.
Oh well, then there you go. You're back on track. You're justified. I don't know what it is about Dwayne Johnson playing Black Adam, but it's something I've always wanted. And I didn't know it because it just seemed. Can you guys name a more perfect pairing?
No.
I mean,
Some people are just born for things.
He doesn't even need the padded suit.
no, he does not. And I'm actually glad they waited because Black Adam is older, right? I like the fact that this is an older Dwayne Johnson and they didn't do it 15, 20 years ago.
Pete
when they
Mac,
started talking
kick
about
your
it.
own ass right now. How dare you say Cavill is a rubbish Superman? He's not a rubbish Superman. He was given rubbish movies by a hack that everybody keeps giving a pass to called Zack Snyder.
Wow, Pete, you've been ordered to kick your own ass. That's a rough day.
Kick your own ass.
I think Cavill is a great Superman. He's just been given crap to work with.
Yeah, garbage tier shit to work with from day one. And they've never liked him at Warner. They've always screwed with the guy. I don't know why. He really pissed in somebody's Cheerios over there.
Yeah. We did talk, Pete, about Richard Donner's passing. Of course, it was he's an important dude. He's done so many. I mean, even if you don't know his Superman, you know Goonies, you know the other stuff he's done, right? And someone finally has gotten smart in the chat. Yes, Chester, you're right. God, it took you long enough. Looks like Black Adam from Injustice: Gods Among Us. How in the hell can you tell? I don't know. But Dwayne knows how to hype shit. Damn it, Dwayne. All right. Moving along, but I'm excited about it. Okay, here we go.
You learn from the master, old Vincent Kennedy McMahon. Storm Collectibles expands deluxe line of Golden Axe. That's a great game. Action figures. We need more Golden Axe in the world. Why is there not a modern Golden Axe? Why?
Yeah, well, they did try to do one, but it wasn't very good. Like a decade or so ago. However, like I said, I don't know why things seem to go in cycles. The universe seems to be coordinating itself.
It rhymes.
But there were many action figure news that I could have chosen from. I chose very specifically, and this being one of them, because Golden Axe is badass video game. I mean, Eric, how many hours did you spend on Golden Axe as a kid?
Oh, I don't know. Geez, a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Yeah, it's one of the greatest of all time.
Yeah,
legitimately.
Freaking awesome game, dude.
Yeah.
And I showed the Hercules one, and I think it's a bit wonky and off. However, that works.
Yeah,
look at
I like
that, dude. And it gets better. You ready? Are you ready? Okay. Oh yes, baby. Yes. He's on the Thunderhead, man. Yeah, I think I have to own this. I think I have no choice in the matter. Now, would you buy this, Eric? Seeing as you're obviously a toy collector.
I'm going to tell you no, only because I kind of limit myself to Wars Black Series figures, Joe Classified figures, and Marvel X-Men figures.
Oh, okay. So you're
Who owns
Cindy
Golden
McGee.
Axe? Why have we not gotten a Golden Axe game? I want to know the answer to this question.
I would love these. The skeleton.
Yeah, the skeletons are nice. Deathbringer.
They remind me of Sinbad and.
Yeah, it's just Sega. I thought so.
Yeah.
Sega, what are you doing? Sega, that's money. You're just sitting on it.
Yeah.
What are you doing, Sega?
Like I
Sega.
said, they like a decade or more ago, they came out with one, and it was really bad, dude. It was bad. Yeah. And
Sega, listen to me. Anybody from Sega ever hears this? Let Larian Studios make your Golden Axe game. Just give it to them, like the
Oh.
Baldur's Gate people did. Just let them do it,
yeah.
and then just enjoy making money because it's
Yeah.
going to print money.
Yeah, no, I think so. And the chat is mentioning Gauntlet as well. Yeah, Gauntlet was great. And they actually came out with a Gauntlet game sometime in the past 20 years, 15 years, that was pretty good. So the kind of Gauntlet reboot wasn't bad. The Golden Axe one was abysmal. But those were a long time ago. They were a long time ago. It's been quite a while. I think you're getting on near a generation ago, right? So it is time. Damn it, Eric, you and I can actually speak in generations now. Jesus.
Marvel is moving away from multi-film deals. You see that on the side there. What's that
Yeah, they're smartening up a little bit.
That doesn't sound like a good portent to the old MCU to me.
Dude,
that they don't have faith in it going forward. Yeah, they don't have faith in it going forward, or they wouldn't be doing that. Because they had faith in it before. That's why they gave Robert Downey Jr. these ridiculous contracts, and Hemsworth and all these other guys got all these contracts. If they're not doing that now, that means they don't have faith in it.
Well,
simple as that.
That's true, but I mean, Kevin Feige is doubling down on his gay MCU. He's doubling down. The triple. He's actually quadrupled down. What am I talking about? Actually, it might be quintupled by now. You have the nonsense of Black Widow. You have even Taika Waititi, whatever his name is, isn't even sure that they should have made Thor: Love and Thunder. I could have told you that. You have all that nonsense going on, and this is what they're looking at doing in the future. Is continuing more of this. It's not even worth wasting your time worrying about it, dude. Because they've made their decision and they're going to dig that grave until it's done, and that's that.
Apparently, there was a new Golden Axe game that somebody was working on called Golden Axed, and it got axed.
Good.
So there's that.
Good. Yeah. But anyway, I just thought this was awesome, and I had to put up. They did a real good job on this figure, dude.
Most of the stuff I've seen from Collectibles has looked really nice.
It looks really good, dude. Yeah. But anyway, I just thought it'd be fun to talk about. So, moving
Cool.
on. Where am I here? Yeah, now this is more serious. Today we're kind of having fun and just being more lighthearted, which I think we should do more often, to be honest with you. I may be leaving the night owls for more hard-hitting stuff and having more fun on Monday. I think is probably a good idea. However, this I think we should have a conversation about.
Former Paramount and Fox CEO, streaming killed the film biz. It'll never come back. Oh, I remember a very strapping young man sitting in this chair that I'm sitting in right now. Actually, it wasn't because I didn't have this chair yet, but we'll go with it. Saying last year when the pandemic started that they were going to move away from the big film business. And I remember vividly that somebody who we won't mention in Chester thought that was just preposterous. Preposterous.
Shut up, Thundero. All right. This right here is
the other one rhyme with an odd.
Yeah, probably. But this is Barry Diller. He's a big media guy, and he has some interesting things to say, and I want to take a read at it here. This is his opinion. These streaming services have been making something that they call. Let me be a little bit more use the intonation a little better. These streaming services have been making something that they call movies, Diller commented. They ain't movies. They are some weird algorithmic process that has created things to last 100 minutes or so. Diller went on to say that the definition of movie is in such transition that it doesn't mean anything right now. The movie business, as before, is finished and will never come back. It was a bad idea that had no testing ground other than the big scale investment. Otherwise, it would have slithered around for a while, but it was such a big scale thing that it lived and died in a millisecond. He's talking about the streaming venture that they were involved with, Quibi, which I've heard before. So this guy is not mincing words whatsoever. He hates what's going on Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, all the other pluses.
Yeah.
And he thinks it's absolutely destroyed cinema. And I can't disagree with him. It's unfortunate. I don't mind streaming stuff, although it's gotten horribly woke. But I know, as with everything, it will cycle back eventually, and I'm old enough to be able to be patient. However, the cinema experience is a special thing. It's a completely different thing, and it's sad that it looks like it is on the way out.
Yep.
I think it'll float along for a while, Thundero. Being like specialty theaters, watching older movies. This will cling for a while. It might cling for quite a while. But the AAA movies being dropped in movie theaters, I think, is going the way of the dinosaur.
Yep. And it should, to be honest. I know it sucks because yeah, it's cool to go to a theater, watch the movie. Everybody likes doing that. But the reality is, if you look at it from a business standpoint and just from a practicality standpoint, it should. We don't need it anymore. It's a waste of everybody's money, and the only reason that it continues really is because we all have that. We love to go do it. But as people get more and more comfortable with not doing that and just pressing a button and watching it on their big 60-inch screen TV at their house, that'll just slowly go away and fade away. A case in point to that is television. Television is dying, basically, because there's nobody watching anymore. The people under 40, a lot of them don't even have cable. I don't have cable.
Yeah.
I have no need for cable, to the point that we just got a new TV. It's a smart TV. Vizio, the TV company, has literally their own cable system for free over your Wi-Fi connection built into the TV. You can watch hundreds of channels with all kinds of stuff for free. You don't have to pay a dime for it. It's the old model is gone, and it's not coming back. They're going to try and make new things into it, like they've tried to do with YouTube and some degree Netflix and whatnot. But I don't think it's going to hold weight, especially now that they've proven they can get away with episodic releases, or not episodic so far, but like weekly releases. Even in the streaming format, people will still watch. And some people prefer that. I personally much prefer just to binge and just drop it all and let me watch it. But
Yeah.
but both of those are being met, right? We have Netflix, who pretty much, as far as I know, they always just drop it all,
They do.
and you have the other ones who do it weekly.
Yeah.
And I think that's just the future. I don't think guys like Bezos and them would be investing so much money into Prime and Prime Video. I mean, they bought MGM, for crying out loud. Why do you think he did that? If he didn't think that this is the future, it is the future of entertainment. Will be direct to home. What I think you might see happen, like you said, it'll become much more niche. They'll play a lot of old movies in some theaters, but a bunch of them will slowly just start to whittle down. But I think you might see a return of the drive-in, because that's pretty cool. And in around here, there's still drive-ins. There's still a couple of them around, actually, but most places don't have them. And I think you might see a return of that, as long as there's enough interest in a niche market type deal. I remember last year at the height of when the pandemic really started taking off and the theaters shut down, that Walmart was talking about converting a bunch of their parking lots into drive-ins.
Yeah, we talked about
I don't
that
know
here.
if they're still doing that, but that's a brilliant idea. They should do that. They absolutely should do that.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
It's a good idea. Yeah. Well,
Yep.
In regards to the whole cinema thing, and streaming regard, Eric, you mind if I make a comparison, an analogy?
Go ahead.
Okay. A long time ago, Eric, there was a war, and during the war, the men were called up to go and fight enemy on multiple fronts, even, and the women of the country were called upon to come and continue industry, to get things building, to get the guns and the tanks and various other things into the hands of the men who are fighting bravely on the front. And
And to sell war bonds.
yes, and sell war bonds, and to take all your precious metals. But what they found was after the war, they were looking at the situation and they were like, "Wow, ladies will come and do these kind of jobs." And what they started doing is they started offering women these jobs, but at a lower pay because they didn't.
Yep.
They figured they didn't have to pay them the same amount. And time went on, and more and more women getting jobs, meaning less and less men were getting jobs. And eventually, there was some civil right things that went on, and they balanced out the pay, which they should have done from the beginning. But what people seem to have misunderstood about the situation was they didn't level the pay up; they leveled the pay down. Now it's very hard to find a family that can survive without both parents working. You see, they didn't give women lifting up into what men were making. They reduced the men, is what they
Well,
did.
yeah, they doubled the workforce, so yeah, they dropped the value of labor.
They did. And
The laws of economics are not suggestions; they're laws. They're
are.
cosmic in scope. They
are.
will
And
be obeyed one way or the other.
yes. So that's the situation we got ourselves into. And the businesses are very happy because I don't know if you're all aware of this, but businesses are making a higher profit margin now than they ever have in history, right? And the thing is, we'll never get back to it. We'll never be able to find some kind of that balance again. It's gone. And it'll never return because business don't give things back. This analogy is certainly appropriate or analogous to our cinema situation. It is simply cheaper and easier to do things streaming. Doing cinema
Yes.
requires lots of money in merchandising,
Yep.
advertisement, production. There's a lot more money involved. And he is 100% correct because why would they go back to spending more money when they can spend so much less?
Yep. And they'll find because this is the grandeur of it is smaller now that they'll be able to pay actors less too, right?
They will.
The end game was probably it for huge budget
That was big
movies like that.
money.
Yeah, that was insane money, and everybody in it made insane money. That was it. That was. I don't think we'll ever see anything top that without massive amounts of inflation, which is happening anyway. So who knows? But I think as far as it's for that model, let's say the popcorn movie, the go to the movie theater and watch a movie, nothing will ever top that, and unless something drastically changes in the culture or what have you, I just don't see anything topping that. I think it'll become very niche. It'll become very, kind of almost like a boomer thing to do. Older people go to the movies, and young people just won't as much anymore. And that's a shame because it's a massive shift in the culture. But I just don't think it's avoidable. I think sometimes technology makes things redundant, and that's where we're at.
Yeah. And of course, it also allows them to control the narrative. They can say whatever they want to say, and you don't know otherwise. Whereas the box
Yep.
office, they couldn't. They tried many times to manipulate it. Sometimes they got away with it. Sometimes they got caught. But they can control like 100% now. So I mean, it was a mega hit. Everyone loved it. Okay.
Ridiculously expensive to go to the theater now too, because I just went on Saturday, saw the matinee, so the tickets were somewhat cheaper. They usually they're around $12.50 to $15 a piece.
Wow.
I did get a large popcorn, 2 soft drinks.
Mhm.
It was $21.
Yep.
Yep.
The drinks and the popcorn.
Yeah, my tickets were $20 just for the ticket.
And now they are advertising at the theater I went to. They have a chain here in St. Louis. Well, they bought up a chain. I think it's a nationwide theaters. Bought up the local chain. 5 days a week they are showing older children's movies from as far back as Shrek.
Wow.
About 10 different ones they're showing 5 days a week for a discounted price and stuff. So yeah, they've been doing that. They started doing that actually before the pandemic, but they really going down on it now.
So
To
what
get
did you
people in
watch? The
there.
Black Widow?
That's why I saw I was a widow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
As much as video killed the radio star, I think streaming is going to kill the movie star.
Yeah.
I
No.
just I don't think it's going to be like it is in 15, maybe 20 years. They just won't really be movie stars like we have now. They'll just be what we similar to like social media, YouTube influencers or whatever. And I just don't think you'll even have these megastars, to be honest, just because it's
Possibly.
so like even the megastars today aren't megastars. The Rock's he's the biggest star in Hollywood, right? And even he flops all the time at the theater, right? In the
Yeah.
cinema at the box
Yeah.
office. So there's just not that whole thing's gone, and it's just not coming back. I think this guy's 100% correct. It won't come back, and it is sad because I love the movies. There was a
Yeah.
time in my life where I was going to be an actor. I was an actor for a little while locally, and stuff like that. And it's just that whole culture. One is toxic as shit. Not even like politically, just it's terrible. Everybody knows it. And two, I think we're starting to see that it's so much cheaper, especially now with film equipment, is so much cheaper. I mean, people can put together crazy stuff with an iPhone,
They
like
can.
crazy stuff.
They can. Yeah.
So the whole infrastructure around the movie industry is outdated. It's 20 years obsolete in some cases. Time moves on, and that's just something that I think is going to be left in the past.
Yeah.
Even in places like China, where they have a ton of theaters, but they still don't generate the revenue that America does on the big
Well,
movies. Sometimes they
don't-
do, but
don't
not
mis-
always.
Don't try to make an analog between the West and the East, dude. It doesn't work. They follow their own path here. The cinema, I think, will survive in Asia way past America. Yeah, it's a different. They don't do the things that Westerns do. Understand that streaming over here is not popular. It's just not. It hasn't caught on yet. It might, but it hasn't yet. But I get your point. The thing for me that was interesting yesterday, my wife and I had some free time yesterday, and we were just sitting here. I had no work or nothing to do, which is rare. So we just sat down. We watched some YouTube, and as Thundero has said on many occasions, I like banal things, which my wife agrees with you. She makes fun of me actually. However, I found something last night, and we enjoyed it for a couple of hours actually. I found this series, I don't know, a culture, I guess, or
Mhm.
genre of YouTube videos, black people watching real music for the first time.
Oh my god! I've watched so many of those.
What? Watching
I'll
real
send
music?
I'll send you the best one to watch.
Yeah. Now,
What does
hold
that
on a
mean?
second.
Watching real music?
No,
You've
hold
probably
on a
seen
second.
them.
Let me break this down because this is pretty cool. You see, the thing is, some of these were hood rats and they were idiots, and other ones were just normal people. But black people in America, they live inside a bubble in their communities, in their neighborhoods. They grow up. Everyone say, "Watch out! Whitey's trying to get you. Whitey's going to get you. Whitey's going to get you." They never go out of it, so they don't know that that's not true because white people could give a shit, right? But this is what they
Mhm.
grow up in, and this is why you have so much angst. And I know the criminality is a different conversation, but the reason why there's so much angst and just pure racism and bigotry coming out of the black community is because they live inside this bubble, and that bubble covers everything, including music. Now, to be fair, inside black music, there's some good stuff. Even in rap, there's some good stuff. But it's a bubble, nevertheless. And somehow this little genre has come along where they will watch these things that they've never heard of before, and of course it blows the mind because these days music is really shit. The
Hmm.
music industry right now may be entertaining. It might well be entertaining, but it's not musical, right? Because it just isn't. And these guys will listen to things like Tom Jones, Freddie Mercury. My wife and I were like, "What? You've never heard of Queen? Are you kidding me?" But they never have, and of course, it blows their mind because that is actual ridiculous level talent. Chris Stapleton absolutely kills them, right? And of course, Chris is one of the greatest singers of all time. He's not that old yet, but damn, Chris Stapleton. If you never heard him, you better go listen to him. But it was just fascinating to watch these people have their minds completely boggled by music. And we know that a lot of times black people tend to overreact intentionally. I found a couple that didn't do that. They were just reacting normally and naturally. They weren't overreacting. But tell me, which one do you like there, Eric?
Jamal Jamal.
Jamal.
He's probably in his 30s, maybe 40s, but I think 30s. He used to work at the Stapleton Center in L.A. and he's seen a lot of these bands, but he never really knew their music. All he ever listened to was rap. Now he's listening to this music, and he gets so excited, and it's not obnoxious exciting. He just has a real appreciation for the music.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Well, yeah, and it was the interesting thing to come across my wife and I because we know we grow up and we listen to all kinds of music. I mean, from
Yeah.
all types of genre, and we appreciate people who are talented and work hard and are very skilled. Like Freddie Mercury is actually obviously a natural born talent, but he also worked his ass off, right? It's clear.
Oh yeah.
And it's just funny to me, but that exists. You've never seen these, Thunder?
No, not reacting to real music. The way you put it, reacting to music they haven't heard. Okay, I would agree with, but I wouldn't say they're reacting to real music. I didn't know what you meant by real. I thought you meant like Africans, like tribal Africans who only heard drums or something, reacting to symphonies.
No. Well, that would
just
probably
music
be cool
they've never heard before.
Yeah, they're just good.
Outside their
standard stuff.
genre of music.
You know what's
Yeah.
funny? About 20 years ago, in a place I was working at, there was this older black guy, probably closer to your guys' age, in age difference now, right?
Mhm.
So he was like 10 years, 15 years older than me, whatever. And me and him were talking, and I was talking about Nirvana, and he goes, what's Nirvana? He had never heard of Nirvana.
Yeah, they're in a bubble, dude.
I said, what? How have you never heard of Nirvana? Like, I can understand not hearing of some of the more niche grunge bands, fine. But Nirvana? They were the biggest band in the world for years.
They were, yeah.
But didn't. Never heard of them.
And
Said, no, I never heard of them.
And I found a few of them that are it's honest with the review we're looking at. It's not bullshit, and they don't even know whether the name is the person or the name of the band. They're like, well, we'll figure it out. And it's sad, but also encouraging. That they're kind of breaking out of that bubble and taking a listen, because the thing with rap is doing its thing, and there is certainly some good stuff in rap right now, and there's a lot of crap, but that's always been true. Pop music is really where the problem is right now, because you have a lot of crap. I mean, it's just insanely bad crap. When you go back and look at some of the pop stuff of the past, like I mentioned, Queen, they're one of the best pop bands of all time, right? The Beatles. These are pop bands, and pop music used to be striving towards something amazing. That's what it was. They're trying to get somewhere. Whitney Houston. The list goes on, right? But these days they don't have that, and the young people just don't know. They have no clue how much they're being robbed, I think, because if you look at the slew of pop stuff going on today, it is truly horrendous. And this isn't just my opinion as an old man. This is my opinion as a musician. Right?
This is the opinion of my 18-year-old nephew. He's told me this himself. He says, I can't stand music that everybody else likes. It's terrible. And he says, he'll listen to the older stuff from the, 90s, 80s, 70s, all the way back, and it's just better. There's just no other way to put it. Like, if you don't have, a musical degree of some description, you probably can't describe it with the right words. But it's just better. It sounds better. It's easier to listen to. It actually makes sense. Unlike a lot of the nonsense they spew out today. And it just is. Like, it's not even like old men don't like newer music. No, because I like I'll go way back. You give me some 20s, I'll rock it. I don't care about that. I care about quality. I'm the guy who doesn't care about artists. I care about art. That's me. And these modern artists, do you hear the air quotes? Because I'm making big ones. are trash. By and
Yeah, they are.
large, there's exceptions.
There are.
By and large, they're
Chris Stapleton
trash.
is an exception. He's a young
Yeah.
modern artist, and he's one of the greatest voices I've ever heard.
He's been writing for a while, writing songs for country artists for.
He is a good writer. Yeah, I like his songs. But Chris Stapleton is a phenom, though. He's kind of like Freddie. He falls in that category.
Yeah. I found, usually I find a newer song that I like, and it's only because it's good. The stuff that's a lot of the stuff's coming out, I really don't care for. Occasionally, want to come, I like that. But I find myself listening to indie folk music now.
Yep.
Than regular pop and rock and stuff. Care for it. I mean, I listen to a classic station if I get in my car, or to the classic radio station in town, and
yeah, no, there are some good things that are coming out for sure, but they're in the indie sphere. They're not in the pop line, and
it's like the comics.
Yeah, that's true. And Pete Mack says, I would say Queen was more rock or glam rock. Yeah, but you got to understand, back in the 70s, the pop genre had not really been defined yet. Today, if you were categorizing those older things before we were using the word pop, they would definitely be, pop. Queen is 100% falls in that category. And at that time, they probably would have been called glam rock. You're right. But I would categorize Queen as probably the greatest pop band of all time. Right? Or the Beatles. The Beatles are probably more, I don't know. The Beatles probably were more successful, and they're definitely fall in the pop genre too, right?
Oh, I hate the Beatles. Oh.
Well, I mean, I don't. But I understand why.
Trash music by trash people. Very glad that most of them died young. Filth.
No, you're right. Cult film video. Chris Stapleton is old school, even though he's
communist. If you're gonna be a communist, at least be one. Don't be a fake bourgeoisie champagne socialist. Filth.
Oh, geez. Filth. Okay, he's on the Beatles now. Like there's a Asian. We've seen some Asian kids come up. There's this Asian kid called Dimash. I'm not sure what country he's from, but he's more operatic, kind of pop operatic, I call it. But here you have a young fellow who it might not be some genre you like, and it's not a genre I like. However, you cannot deny the talent. This kid's range and control is almost alien in his ability. Have you ever seen Dimash?
No, not at all. I've never even heard of him.
Yeah, go check it out. It might not be your jam because, like I said, it's more operatic pop is what it is, and I don't even like it to be completely fair. But just it's one of those things that you must respect it. And I think cult film. This is what Chris Stapleton is. Everyone respects him. Because if they know of who he is, because you can't deny that, right? And the funny thing was, a lot of these black people watching real music videos that I saw, a lot of them were watching Chris Stapleton for the first time and being absolutely hammered. Because you mentioned Al Green, he does do the Al Green thing, but I say he does the BB King thing even better, right? But he's unique though. Chris is a unique voice. We don't see those very often. I'm not going that route. But I'm just saying that there is some good music going on, but it's not really in the mainstream. There's a guitar player. I don't think he's much of a singer, but it's a little quartet, folk bluegrass type of band. I think it's the lead guy. His name's Billy Strings. Go watch that. Because their musicality, their ability with their string instruments is literally insane. Billy Strings, go check it out. What do you listen to, Thundero? I mean, Dionne Warwick. You feel like a Dionne Warwick guy to me.
Dionne Warwick, this fucking guy.
He likes the Partridge Family.
Yeah. Hey,
it really just depends. I don't listen to the Beatles. They're trash, and they're trash people. It just depends on my mood, really. I'll jump around. I'll go from a Johnny Cash to old crying in my tear in my beer country that my mom used to listen to that I was raised on, to heavy ass metal.
Oh yeah.
To straight grunge, to gangster rap. I grew up with that shit. Real rap, actual rap. Some of the modern guys I like are super niche by and large.
Yeah, it's not
Like,
all bad, dude. There is some good rap going on. Certainly.
the weird thing is a lot of the best rappers today are white dudes. Like, legitimately, probably the best rapper going right now is Tom McDonald. Honestly, he's cringy as hell to look at, but he is insanely good at lyrics. He's nuts.
Yeah, his groove is pretty good. That is true, and he's speaking out against the nonsense as well.
Yeah.
But Billy Streams has a cheap merch on his website. He probably does. If you ever seen Billy, cheap just kind of exudes from him.
Yeah, I'll listen to video game music. I mean, anything really. Like I said, I'm the guy. I don't care about artists. I could not be fucked to care about an artist. I care about their art.
Yeah,
so
that's fair.
as long as the art is up to snuff, I can overlook them being a trash person because I can just, separate the two, separate the artist from the art.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, in the Beatles case, their art's trash and they're trash. So I just got no respect for them at all.
Yeah.
Just period.
Well, that goes for me with like Pentatonics and groups like that.
Yeah.
Most of them, their politics are absolutely abysmal. But
Yeah.
they're really good, dude. They're really, really
Yeah,
good.
they are.
Well, what do you listen to, Eric?
I listen to just about anything. Country, rock, 80s rap. I don't care for modern rap too much, but you get me back to the 80s, early 90s, I like that stuff. Metal sometimes.
There is a
country.
lot of crap, but there is. I've found a few good things. But you're right. There is a lot of crap.
Billy Joel, anything he's ever done.
Oh, Billy's amazing.
I've seen him like 6 times in concert. But did you guys know? Okay, so you know who Hank Williams is? I'm sure both of you.
Of course. Yeah.
Did you know there was a movie called I Saw the Light that starred Tom Hiddleston as Hank Williams and Elizabeth Olsen?
You lost me at Olsen.
I finally caught it streaming because I thought it'd be interesting. And I'll tell you, Hiddleston does a good job singing the songs. She does not. The movie's not that good though. It just kind of.
Nah, it doesn't sound good. But I do like Hank Williams. I like Hank Williams Jr. better, but Hank Williams has got some good stuff.
Well, Cephas.
Yeah. I have tried to listen to some of the stuff that Booster suggested, like Sabaton and Bellacore, things like that. I can't. No.
Oh no, Booster doesn't like
No.
Sabaton. That's me that likes Sabaton.
I
just
don't.
like I like historic tales being told in a modern
I don't mind
way.
that. I don't mind the storytelling. That's fine. But and some of them do good storytelling. I've tried, but no. I like melodic rock, metal. One of the new things that I have seen that I didn't know existed that I do like is symphonic metal. That's pretty badass.
Yeah,
like a Trans-Siberian Orchestra.
No, that's not the one I had checked out, but I can't remember the name of them offhand. But it was melodic metal, and it had like symphonic stuff. I think they were using synthesizers to get that kind of effect, but I don't know. It just worked. I would never put a synthesizer with a metal band, but it works. It works really well.
You guys can make fun of me, and you're going to, and you guys might remember I've said this before, but I really do like Nickelback.
I've never even listened to Nickelback. I don't know, dude. I have no clue if they're good or not.
I think they get a bad rep, largely just because it became popular to hate on them, and a lot of their songs sound the same. But their first few albums, especially, were really good. They just were. There's no way to doubt it.
Really hard songs that never made it to the radio. It's really heavy songs.
Yeah. I don't know.
Everybody will make fun of you if you say you like it.
Probably. Like for instance, in the same vein of what you're saying, Rage Against the Machine. Rage Against the Machine has some absolutely killer tracks, dude. Killer. Yeah. But they are absolute shithead communists. Absolute shitheads. However,
champagne socialist fucks.
Absolutely, 100%. 100%. You two up your ass is what they are. However, they fucking bang, dude. They bang. Those dudes. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of we could go on for hours about musicians with their ridiculous political stances, but I think there's a counter to that. There's a lot of metal bands who are pretty right wing, and fairly conservative. Even if their politics are more liberal, they're still conservative people in their lifestyle, and that's something that's seemingly unique to metal. Well, besides like small time stuff, but like in a mainstream audience. And a good example of that, I think, Five Finger Death Punch, the lead singer, the frontman of that, I believe he's from Poland, from Soviet Poland. He grew up there, and he's like super pro-American, patriotic, and like big time to an insane degree. Writes a bunch of patriotic, supporting the troops songs, stuff like that. And they're fucking spectacular. They're great songs by and large. That's just one example. There's others, but it is interesting. I said this to Booster a few weeks ago. It's strange to me. I wasn't expecting patriotic whiteness, I'll call it, to express itself in rap, but it has seemingly done so in the last few years.
Yeah, I've seen it.
There is a lot of patriotic, even non-white ones, who are super patriotic,
Sure.
singing patriotic rap, and I'm like, what? What just happened here?
Well, things have shifted for sure. But when I was growing up, all the black dudes around me were proud Americans.
Yeah,
I mean,
almost
that's a
everybody
new thing
was.
for me. What was that, Eric?
Almost everyone was when we were kids.
Yeah,
It seemed like.
it's like odd not to be. So I don't know what that shift is. I did hear a band recently out. It came out as Booster's suggestions. I don't think he mentioned them, but I did find a band that it's okay. Ramstein.
Oh,
Well,
Rammstein.
actually, it
Yeah.
would be Rammstein, I guess.
Rammstein.
Rammstein. And the good thing about them is their German is simple enough that I can follow it easily. My
You never
German
heard
is not my
Rammstein?
strongest.
Man, you've been living in a bubble over there in the East, huh? They were
I am in the
huge
East,
for a
dude.
while.
Yeah, it's true.
They were a big deal, especially in like the early 2000s in movies. Their songs were everywhere in movies.
Uh,
And like
oh,
the Triple X movie, the first one with Vin Diesel, is full of them. There's like 2 or 3 of them in that.
I heard another song yesterday. It was one of those reaction videos, but it was a Simon and Garfunkel song, not A Bridge Under Troubled Water, the other one, and some band named Disturbed did a remake
Sound
of
of
it.
Silence.
Sound of Silence.
Killed
Dude, they killed
Amazing
that, dude.
remake.
You never heard
They,
Disturbed either?
dude, they killed that shit, dude. No, they killed that. That's
I
better.
know.
The emotion of it was better. Disturbed killed that. Now
Wait a
here's
minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. It sounds like you should be making reaction.
You
Yes.
think?
You're like 20 years out of date at least with,
Yeah,
with
maybe I should be.
freaking mainstream metal, my friend.
Uh,
The Disturbed is actually typically anyway, a metal band. Obviously, The Sound of Silence isn't a metal song, but
they killed
typically
it
they
though.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing, it was the black dude who was watching it. He lives in Spain, and I think he's a symphonic musician, trumpet player, or something like that, tuba player. And he's unaware of anything. So, but his is very honest because he's giving a musical opinion on stuff. So I kind of gravitated toward liking his stuff. However, he was trying to dissect the meaning of Sound of Silence. And which I appreciate him doing so, but boy, did he get it wrong. I mean, 100% wrong. He was trying to think about it because he didn't know it was a really old song written by Paul Simon. And he was trying to connect it to people not communicating properly. And looking at the video, I think Disturbed might not even understand what this song actually means. But that's irrelevant though, because that was a way better version, dude. Way better.
It
So
was very emotional
he killed it.
singing it. It was really good. It was like Johnny Cash doing
Oh
the
God,
Nine Inch Nails song. Hurt. Yeah.
tear your heart out, man. Freaking
Yeah.
Johnny. Last thing he ever did before his death, man. Oh my God. Powerful shit, dude.
It literally, my wife can't even listen to that song. She starts crying because it's
rough.
just, oof. Yeah, that song. It was like it was written for him. It's
Yeah.
perfect
Exactly, yeah.
for him as just his whole life. It's just perfect. Yeah, no, that's one of the best covers. That might be the best cover of all time, to be honest. That's to the point where they said, "No, that's his song now. We just give that to Johnny." He took
Well,
that and he
dude,
made that his own.
that was powerful. And it shows you that old man that was literally just weeks away from maybe months away from his death.
2
That
months.
freaking Johnny Cash, dude.
He shot the video, the music video for it, and he died 2 months later.
Yeah. But
June died right before that, right?
She did. She did. Yeah. I'm sure the chat is yelling at me about stuff. I see my name being mentioned. Captain Kenneth says, "Holy shit, Chester needs a YouTube channel to old 20-year-old metal bands." Well, I like melodic metal. I don't like this. I don't like that crap. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Yeah. Now, to each his own. Enjoy. Have at it. But I'm not interested in that at all. I tried. I have tried, dude. But as far as bad metal singing, the most I will do is Motorhead. And that's simply because Lemmy is
man.
God.
Yeah, that's true. He is. He has ascended back to his rightful place.
He has. But that's about as deep as I'll go in that direction. I like the good old, Judas Priest. I mean, Iron Maiden. I like this driving, powerful, melodic metal. That's what I like. And I guess there must be some of it still around somewhere. But
So, Chester, have you ever heard any I'll go through famous ones like Slipknot or
Yeah,
Korn?
sure,
I know you've heard Korn. You've talked about Korn.
Yeah.
Like the last 20 years or so, these are some like the famous metal bands. There's others too. Five Finger Death Punch is, I guess, technically a metal band. What's the one my brain's losing? Oh, I can't think what the other one is. I'm trying to think of, but there's been quite a few in the last 20 years or so. There was kind of a weird resurgence of I don't even know what you'd call it. Just a very unique type of metal in the late 90s, early 2000s.
Yeah, there really was.
And then it just kind of petered out again. And now we're back to it being far more niche than it used to be. But
yeah,
that was like my teenage years. So that's what I was obviously jamming, was all that metal at the time. And it's kind of nuts that you've never heard some of it. Like, that kind of blows my mind that you've never heard Disturbed. Like, you didn't even know who Disturbed was.
Yeah, well, I've been spending my time working.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know what you can do, Chester? I've been made abreast of this great little nugget. You can listen to music and work at the same time.
Yeah, well.
Could whistle while you work.
But yeah, no, I know I'm out of touch with a lot of that stuff. I am a heavy metal fan. I like all music, to be honest with you. I don't really care. I'll listen to bluegrass. I'll listen to Carpenter's crap. I'll listen to whatever. I'm not really picky. I just like good stuff. That's all there is to it. I just haven't found much of an attachment. I think as far as the storytelling metal, my favorite is probably Manowar. Because they're all into telling these epic, mythological stories all the time. But once again, it's very melodic, and those guys can absolutely drop a lyric, man.
See, that's how I am. I'm like the same way. I prefer music that tells a story. Yeah. I don't even have to necessarily understand it if it's like in another language. I can still tell by the way that the rhythm of the song is usually if it's telling me a story, otherwise instead of just nonsense, like the Beatles.
Dave Matthews.
If it's telling me a
bunch of blah 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 blah.
Yeah, if it's telling me a story, that's what I prefer. I think that's one of the reasons. One of the reasons I like some of the bands you've been mentioning here, like I like Sabaton, mainly not even so much because they're a great band. I don't think they're, they're top anything of metal bands, but their content of what they make songs about is awesome. The content is as metal as the songs on most of them, and I think that's why I like it so much. I'm just like a sucker for. Tell me a story with your music, because that's what music's supposed to be for.
And
you're right.
Tell stories. And that's why grunge took over from pop metal.
Yep.
because they were just they weren't telling stories. The grunge guys were. And a perfect example, I was, when I was younger and I was doing the circuit, I met a lot of people from the late 80s, early 90 groups. I was working, my band was touring with in the same circuit, right? So I met a lot of people. And
Mhm.
one of my best friends that I made out of that, and I knew all the guys, but I was really good friends with Nuno Betancourt of Extreme. And we were really good buddies. We just kind of had very similar attitudes. And we all, every time we were on tour together, we always kind of would, talk and spend a lot of time with each other. And I was always surprised that Extreme didn't get bigger, because those musically, those guys are freaking phenomenal, dude. However, all they did was sing
Wait,
little pop bubblegum metal is what they were.
more than words, guys?
Yeah, Extreme. Yeah.
Okay, I don't think. Yeah, they didn't get big here at all. I mean, they had
No.
that song. I don't know if they had much after that. They almost like a one-hit wonder here.
Yeah, well, they were a little more than that, but they just didn't get over in the long time success. They had their little bright bulb burn, and they were done. Some of the other bands I knew, like Mr. Big, Tesla, Alice in Chains, Black Crows, some of them had a little bit longer run, but they all fizzled too, right? Even though all these people I just mentioned, they have songs that still stay with us today, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Um,
You'll
uh,
find them on the classic rock
yeah,
stations now.
yeah. Which they weren't classic rock at all. They were pop metal.
Right, right.
I'd even call them bubblegum metal, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit sad for me, particularly with Extreme, not just because I was friends with Nuno, but because of how good they were. I mean, the at that time, those kind of hair pop metal bands, the really, really good musicians were ones like Extreme. Um, what was it? White Tiger, White Snake,
There was white.
White
White
There,
Snake.
there was a white tiger. There was a white
No,
snake.
no,
The
I
only
thought
thing I
White
really
lion.
know about White
Long
Snake
too.
is when I think it was in New Jersey, they like blew up an arena or something. Like they burned it down because their pyro was
Oh
too
yeah, no, that was
insane.
sad, dude. That was really sad, actually, that event.
God.
But no, White Snake is the one I'm talking about, not White Tiger. White Snake. I don't know if you guys know this, but White Snake was a studio band. They were not a garage band like most of them were. And those guys were insanely articulate musicians. Really, really good. And I understand they're a meme and a joke, and I get that. But musically, they were badass. But that's the era I was touring and I was working with in
I
that
still
era.
like listening to Guns N' Roses. I was listening to November Rain on the way home from the store this afternoon.
Yeah, I never ran into those guys. They didn't do the circuit stuff. They were already big and they were already stadium. The people I work with were people who were just starting to get popular. Because the circuit, when you're doing the circuits in America, you're big enough to get booked, right? You're not nothing, right? But and you're getting paid pretty good money. Like I was getting $1,000 a set, right? So it's not nothing. But it's not that level. It's not Guns N' Roses stadium. In that, I wasn't involved with that shit at all. I was doing circuit stuff, and so I met a lot of people who didn't really get past the circuit, or people who are up and coming, right? Like the Black Crows did a lot of circuit stuff, and then they didn't
Mhm.
because they became a stadium level band, right? Those guys, I'm surprised any of them are alive today. To be honest with you, because I've never seen anyone drink that much. They're literally drinking whiskey as if it were water. That's not just their music videos, or it's not bullshit. It's exactly what they were. I've never seen anyone drink like that. I'm really surprised they're alive. But as far as I know, they did blow up eventually, didn't they? Uh, let's see. Jeff said Extreme was one of the few funk metal groups out there. Extreme's a really good technical band. They're a really, really good band, but they just didn't. They didn't pop, man. So I don't. I think I remember them getting opening for somebody, so they did do some stadium runs, tour stuff. They probably did more than I know, but they just never popped. And Nuno is a freaking ridiculous guitar player too. It's really really good. See, I don't talk about this music stuff much. The only person I really talk to music stuff with is Art, because he was in a band at the same time, and they
Oh,
were
yeah.
successful on the West Coast, which I never played in, so we never met because I was always on the East Coast. But anyway, that's not here from there. I think I did have another story. I don't know if I want to even bother. Let me go check it out and see if it's worth even doing anything with. Oh yeah, no, without question. Okay, sorry. Go ahead. Let's finish this off and be done.
Oh,
The
God.
Nacelle Company announces plans to revive Silverhawks.
Now,
I like it.
you might know who they are, Thundero, but Eric and I grew up with this, and I absolutely adored the Silverhawks, dude. How about you?
Oh, yeah, I watch them all the time.
Love the Silverhawks. This is awesome. I hope it doesn't suck like what they've done with He-Man and shit. But here's a more modern take on the Silverhawks, which I thought was this nice little bit of art here. And
Mister,
yes,
he just released 2 of them in action figure form a couple weeks ago.
yes, I know. They're doing Silverhawk stuff. They're doing comic books, and they're planning on bringing a series back. That's my thing there. This was another one of the action figures newses. However, I have to do this. It's happening. Tallyhawk. Oh, that's awesome. What a great theme song. I know you guys can't hear it. They can't though.
I can hear it.
I can hear it.
Good. So you can hear it now, so that switch I did helps you. Oh, good.
We'll never get anything this creative again. Not from these people, anyway.
No, we won't.
I mean, look at this, man. This is just a microcosm of that old generation. Look at it.
Monstar.
There was this big weird, not weird. Where's the wrong word, but fascination people had with magic and space.
Yep.
In this time, and it was just everywhere. Hell, even Star Wars, magic and space.
Such a great theme song. But anyway, I'm really happy about this news. I hope that they do it justice. I hope, and I wouldn't mind them modernizing either. One of the things with the young people probably aren't going to glom on to that necessarily. So don't even bother. Just make it for the older people. Age it up, right? Age it up a bit.
Yeah, I don't. Here's the rub though. If you do that and it's good, those older people, a lot of them have kids. They'll watch it with them.
That's right.
And there you go. Now they're in. That's how comic books spread and got so popular. Is because people grew up with them. Your guys' generation and older grew up with them, and they were giving them to their kids as they got older. Like, hey, read this. This is pretty cool. This is a good one. And there you go. Now you have a whole lifelong thing of them.
Yeah. Well, that's why
I don't understand why we've forgotten this idea of
simple system
of
right?
generational fandom.
Well, it seems that more than half the households don't have dads in it anyway.
Well,
However,
that's true.
that is the reason why I love westerns.
Yeah,
Right?
me too.
My
Me too.
dad
My mother.
adored
Yeah.
them. Yeah, he was all about the western. I grew up loving them.
My
as a kid.
father and I would watch Clint Eastwood, and my
Yep.
mother and I would watch like Ponderosa and Gunsmoke.
Oh,
That's what we watch. That's what would happen.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. And I got the comic books from my uncle, actually. That's where I got the bug from that. Was not my parents. My parents were not comic book people whatsoever. However, anyway, thank you all for coming in here. We're definitely, well, it was a long show. I need to get ready. I got stuff I got to do. But that was fun. And more lighthearted. How'd you guys like today's show? It was definitely more lighthearted.
I think it's a really good show.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. And I don't know exactly who Booster is simping for. Is this a new girl? Another one?
I think it's Siege. I don't know.
Yeah, that's who I'd guess too.
Whatever. As long as the little boy's happy, that's all I care about.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I did have to say I do like triggering people about the Beatles. I don't like the Beatles, that's real, but I always am way more hyperbolic about it, or is that the right term? I exaggerate more with it.
Yeah,
Facetious.
hyperbolic, yes.
Yeah,
hyperbolic.
because you always get one person every time. You throw it out there and they can't resist but to get mad. I love it. I love it. It's an easy troll. It's kind of like vegans. You
Oh
can
my
walk
God.
in and start shitting on them, and they will fall for it
Well,
every
it's
time.
because they
Every
don't
time.
eat meat and their bodies on the edge of collapse. That's why. But no, I understand not liking the Beatles. I can see that.
Actually, a lot of people don't. I've run into probably more people that don't than actually do. It seems like.
I mean, if you look at most of their music, it's kind of tragic. I mean, really. But they're important for what they were at the time. However,
Yeah. No, I will never take away their impact. They were probably, as far as bands go, the most impactful, definitely of that generation.
yeah.
But as far as my personal taste, nah. It's just nah. Here's what it all sounds like. It sounds like it was written by some college kid who thinks he knows everything. And I have no interest in that. That just doesn't appeal to me at all.
Well, their
On a
music was
fundamental
written
level.
by other people. A lot of times, people think that the Beatles' music was written by John and Paul, and it was not. It was.
Yeah.
I mean, the early stuff was, but the stuff that they're actually famous for, those big banger songs that everybody knows, those were not written by them at all. The Beatles are one of those bands that were a garage band that got picked up and got managed in a highly commercial way, and they were managed well because I mean, look at how much money they made off of it. But yeah, that's fair enough. Anyway, I do need to run, so thank you all very much. Eric, you have any closing comments?
None at all.
Not at all. I'm glad I finally found a way where you guys could hear what I'm playing, though. That's nice. So I'll leave this set up the way I got it then. Because I
Good.
have the only problem is because I have you guys going through my sound system, my personal sound system, right now, and which allows you to hear, which is great. But if you share something and play a video, particularly going through your Discord, it will echo. So I have to that's troublesome. But as long as I handle the showing what people are seeing, it should be fine. So anyway, thank you guys very much, and Thendero, take us out of here, man.
Today was a good day. I'm going to be real quick about it. Today was a good day. I hope it was a good day for you. We see people fighting for liberty all over the world. Never forget that is because of the United States of America. Also, never forget that Donald John Trump won the 2020 election. Also, never forget one last thing. You're probably a better person than you think you are. Go have a good night.
Oh, all right, guys. Later.